start the video off with the good old all right. We're
Alright.
back, episode 8. And as you can see, we both have a microphone each, which is very handy. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully the conversation will flow a lot better as opposed to pass the parcel with the microphone. But
We're getting professional these days.
we are getting professional. Today is the 2nd of March, episode 8. It is currently at the end of the deload week. It's a Saturday morning. We've had a whole week of rest and recovery. We started the week off with trials, and today we're out here just having a bit of a head out, keeping the body ticking as we kind of head into those final preparations towards Worlds, because we've really only got next week coming, and then we're on a plane off to Brazil very soon. So it's getting very exciting. But as we said, it's deload week, and like we do every deload week, we sit down and have those kind of discussions between each other and a bit of a check-in, and that's what we're going to do today again on the camera before we get out to track, and just have a fun session really, and just enjoy training and have a bit of a fun hit out to kind of refresh the mind and attack next week, that last week before we leave, and just set that tone that we've been working towards, to kind of, that this is all real, it's actually happening, like we're going to achieve what we've set out to do, and kind of, it's been good. How would you summarize the week? How are you feeling? How would you say the block's gone?
It's deload week. How good. We're at the back end of deload week. This is when the freshness starts coming in, and I don't know about you, but I am feeling pretty good. We both had a very strong coffee this morning as well, so
Yeah, very strong.
pretty fired up for a session that we're just coming out and having a little bit of a fun hit out. So things are feeling really good at the moment. I can definitely feel that some of that freshness is starting to come in now, which is what we're after as we're heading into racing. We want to show up on race day and be as fresh as we can, so that we can show off all of those gains that we've made over the last couple of months. And yeah, things are good. We had trials on Monday, which went really well, and I think that having trials early in the deload week, compared to when we usually have it on a Wednesday, has been really beneficial to be able to allow the mind and the body to be able to rest and really recover for that last little bit of work before we head over to Rio and get onto that plane for that long bit of travel. So it's been really nice this week to get really fired up for that trial day on the Monday, but then also be able to completely switch off and rest, recover this week, and come out here and have a little bit of a hit out today, before we kind of have that last little bit of refocus. So things are good.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, the switch off is important, because I'd say that the last block, and I know that, like I mentioned it the other week as well, and for me in particular, has very much been, I guess, a mental challenge throughout the whole period as well, and obviously there's been some physical challenges throughout that too. But yeah, having that bit of a switch off is definitely handy, and necessary as well, because we are about to go into a stressful environment. We've got over 30 hours of travel to get to Brazil. We've then got a week to acclimatise between an 11-hour time zone difference, and there's a lot of stressful factors too. So to be able to just switch off, still keep normality and routine, and still keep doing all those things, but just not have that same load and intensity with training, kind of does make a big difference in the end as well. And like we've mentioned too, the more you kind of adapt to those stimuluses and stuff, you can handle more. So the fact that we've been able to kind of push through this block and still perform regardless of how we've been feeling and sensations we've been having, it just sets us up really, really well, that when we get to Worlds, that it's not uncomfortable, or we've not experienced it before, if I'm making any sense there. But even I think the trials on Monday was a really positive step in the right direction, that the times have been heading where we've wanted them to, and it was a bit more confirmation of we have done everything right, the work has been done, and things are heading in the right direction, like we've discussed as well. We know that we get that lift on race day, and Monday was a bit more confirmation for that too. We still had sensations around nerves and all those kinds of things as well, and I think having exposure to that is very, very important, because you can't prepare for the environment on race day, because realistically it's all the same. If we get into the start gate on Monday and do trials, if it had been a normal training session and Shane's all right, today it's just the standing 750, that's all you've got, we would come out to the session, still attack it to our highest possible ability. But if it was just a standard training session, we would still have some nerves and anxieties around the length of effort and the pain that will kind of come with that at the end. But then as soon as you label it, okay, it's now a trial day, those sensations change. And then when you label it again, okay, it's a trial day, but all the support staff are going to come out and watch us. changes that sensation. And then you go, okay, now it's race day, state championships, it's national championships, it's world championships. The sensations continue to change, that pressure builds, but the only thing that is different is that what you've put in, the story that you've made up in your head and the importance of it, which has a performance effect to it as well, which you mentioned that the nerves are good, and that is a good thing.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, it's the same thing. It's a standing start followed by 4 laps.
Yeah, I think it's really good that we both label it and tell that story in our mind about how important it is, because I think that's really important for race day, when we're able to come out and be able to go, this is serious here, and we take it very seriously. And I think that puts us in good stead for leading into race days, when we can label it with something serious compared to like a regular training session. Because it would be easy to go, oh, it's not race day, it's just a trial day, and not really take it too seriously. Whereas we come out and we have very high standards for ourselves on these days. And I think the fact that we feel all those nerves and feel all of those emotions are really good, because then when we come out on race day, it's just another start. And I think what was really good about Monday is that we actually did a standing 750, which it's the first time that we've ever done a standing 750 in a trial day, which is 3 laps of the track, which is getting very close to our full race distance, which is 1 kilometre, 4 laps of the track. So the fact that we're able to do 3 and both go, yeah, it hurt a lot, but we're only 1 lap away from full race distance, means that I think those nerves and anxieties are going to be very different come race day, when we're stepping up for the 1 kilometre going, yeah, well, we've pretty much done it in our trial day. Because at that point, when you've only got 1 more lap to go, you're kind of in paces.
Yeah, you're not doing much.
Anyway,
the legs are already gone.
You're just staying in full aero position and hoping that the aerodynamics and the momentum of the bike is going to get you through that last lap. So like, we could have probably done the 4th lap on Monday.
Definitely could have.
But it probably wouldn't have told us much. And we know that if we can do 3 at the point that we did it on Monday, that last lap is going to be sweet come race day. So I think for me, that gives me a lot of confidence in a few weeks' time. And that's exactly what happened at Nationals when we had States 5 days earlier. We pulled up after States for Nationals in Melbourne, and it was just another kilo.
Yeah.
It was just another 4 laps. And that's kind of what I felt like when I got in the gate in Melbourne, was it's just another 4 laps. We did it 5 days ago. We can do it again.
Yeah. And I think we've mentioned it as well, is like the more exposure you get to that and the more you kind of get comfortable with that uncomfortable feeling of those nerves and anxieties and stresses and all those other factors that come on race day, you handle that situation better. It's not that it goes away, it's always there, but you're just better prepared for it and better handled for it. And I think that's the really important thing about trials, and thing that I do like about them. Like, I don't like the feeling of how much pain we're in at the end of the effort. Like, that side of it is not fun, but the learnings and the value that we get from actually exposing ourselves to that regularly is critical, because at the end of the day, we're trying to get to the Paralympics, and for you, this is your first World Championships, and you can't prepare for World Championships if you've never been to World Championships. But like we just said before, it's exactly the same thing as like we were doing training, just the environment and the surrounding circumstances are different. So the more you can kind of realize that yes, the external factors are different, but at the core of it, the process is exactly the same. It grounds you and gives you that sense of like reassurance, like, okay, I've been here before, the rest of it's just noise. Everything else is exactly the same. And we've been doing a lot of work with that, and I think it's been incredibly valuable.
For me, everyone keeps asking me at the moment, like, oh, how are you feeling for Worlds? And I'm like, at this point, it's just an execution of processes.
Yeah, 100%.
And the hard work has been done. So I know that when we get in the start gate, I will be knowing that I've done absolutely everything that I can in training to be in the best possible position to be able to go as fast as possible. And at that point, all I need to do is be able to do another start and another 4 laps.
Yeah.
Simple as that. We've done it hundreds of times in training, and we know that what's different about race day. Yeah, the environment, and there might be a bit of a crowd, there might be a little bit more pressure, but at the same time, we've proven time and time again that under those levels of pressure and nerves and anxiety, which we feel regularly in those trial days, we've been able to perform and get a bit of a lift. So I think the more we tell ourselves and the more we have that confirmation of a race day lift,
one day you're fast,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And if you tell yourself, oh, I really struggle on race day, or I really struggle with the nerves, what's going to happen? You're going to struggle.
Yeah, you've already conceded.
But if you tell yourself, I get a race day lift and this is great, you're probably going to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, that's like, I might have been fooling myself about 6 months ago when I was saying, yeah, we get a race day lift. But now I truly believe it because we've seen it time and time again. So we're like, if we can do a certain time in training, we're like, we're going to gain a couple of tenths on race day.
Yeah.
Like, if we didn't tell ourselves that, it's probably not going to happen.
No.
But the fact that we say it
No.
constantly and we truly believe it, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, we truly believe it. Plus, we've also had the confirmation that it does. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, mindset is everything. Like the way that you approach it, that is everything. Because like you said, if you go into race day already in some sort of a negative frame, sort of like, things aren't coming together, then you're already in that space that you've given yourself that opportunity to not succeed or not to set out and do what you set out to do, or you've kind of had a built-in excuse in that regard, which we're not doing that. We don't do that. And that's the thing that we've done a lot of work with, is to have those positive conversations with each other. And even, like we've said, the snowball effect of training, like when we get that confirmation of times, and it does help that, like, yes, but even if they weren't going in the right direction, knowing that it'll come together on race day, and I know I've said it before and a few other times, like one day you'll fast, and whatever, it's a saying, it's a quote, but like it's true, it's factual. If you go in believing it and knowing that you've done everything and you get that lift on race day, and realistically, that is the only day that your times matter. You could come out to training and break the world record, it's not going to count. The race day is the day, the medals are decided, results are decided, all that. That's the day. Show up on a given day that is required performance, and we've done everything possible. So yeah, it's been good. In terms of the training block, like, how have you felt throughout it? Some challenges, like where do you think we're at kind of leading into this last little bit?
Mate, that was hard. That was hard. Like, we had 3 solid weeks. For me, I was doing a little bit more length. So 2 out of 3 of my on-bike sessions were a bit more length. So on a Wednesday, which you would have seen in the last episode, was a 30-second Le Mans acceleration. And then on the Friday, we were doing 687 meter efforts, which is like 2.5 laps on the track, which for us is a fair bit of length. And for me, that was the first training phase like ever that I've focused that hard on length. So it was pretty brutal. And I think it's taken a little bit longer for that freshness to come back in because of the level of intensity that the training was in the last phase. But I can really feel that it's positively influenced the length on the bike. And I could feel that on Monday when we did our 750 on trial day. Like, we did 3 laps, and yeah, it hurt a lot, but I also felt like I didn't fade as hard. And I can really see how all of that hard work has culminated into what we're doing on the track. And it was really cool to see it all come together on Monday as well, and feel the gains that I've made over the last month or so. So once again, like what you were saying, it's all about that self-belief. And for me, knowing that I've worked as hard as what I have done in the last 3-4 weeks and seeing it all come together is just bloody awesome.
Yeah,
There's no other way of putting it.
No, it is. It's really good.
How are you feeling with the last phase?
Yeah, I would say the same with the last phase. It was definitely hard, but for me, it was probably more of the mental side of it was the difficult challenge. And I mentioned that last week's video, just around just struggling with, like, you know, emotions and stuff like that, and stresses and whatever else. Like, that's probably for me where I found the challenge. Like, I also found it physically challenging too, and but like I said as well, able to handle that and adapt and grow from that makes a more resilient person, makes a more resilient athlete, that when the bigger things come up, you've been in that situation before, it's not unfamiliar, you kind of know how to handle it. So for me, that was the value I got out of that training block, as hard as it was to get through with the highs and lows between the sessions, and I guess the fluctuations in form and performance and standards that I hold myself to. We still had a lot of sessions where we were able to come out and perform and ride fast. So the fact that we could do that under those sensations I have gives me a lot of confidence moving forward with other things that I've said, the positive mindset, the attitude of, you know, on race day, everything will come together. So all those things, you know, accumulated together just help that performance. And I know from here on out, as we keep taking load out, everything's fresh, fast, quality, ultimately having fun as well with what we're doing. Hopefully at some point in the next week or so, we get to wear the green and gold kit for training, which that's going to give another lift. And, you know, once we get on the plane and get over to Rio with the squad, and we're in that Australian environment with all the other coaches and athletes and staff, and you're in the building, and it just keeps snowballing and stuff. So for me, that's where I felt that this block has been leading towards. So, like, yes, it was challenging, but I don't want easy. I don't want anything easy, because there's no fun in that. There's no reward in that. There's no satisfaction in that. So I will always kind of choose to do the hard thing, and that block was hard. in a physical aspect, but also more so mentally, but I know that I'm better for it and stronger for it. And the fact that I have been honest with myself and been able to have conversations with people and say like, hey, I've been struggling with this and that has helped massively. Whereas in the past, sometimes I would keep that to myself and bottle up my emotions and all that, and it makes those blocks even harder. But the fact that I was able to identify that I'm not feeling right in a certain way, but I could express that and accept that, helped me to kind of move past that, you know, day by day sessions. Like there were good days, there were bad days, but that's totally normal. That's life. Nothing is a constant linear progression upwards. There's always highs and lows, peaks and valleys, you know, all that kind of stuff. So for me, that's where I feel like that block went. But again, sets us up really good for now, the future, the next competitions. Because yeah, nothing ever gets easier. You just get faster. That's the way it kind of boils down to.
Too right.
So
That was great.
Yeah, not bad. So for today, today's session, it's again, we're just keeping the body ticking during the deload week. So we've got 3 to 4 efforts on the tandem, running the sprint setup. So I have the sprint bars on, basically RAC, so rolling acceleration, 200 meter effort off the top of the track. So kind of simulating a little bit of a flying 200 line, in the sprint bars on a bit of a smaller gear, spoked wheels in, just keeping the body ticking before we kind of have our last little hit out next week before we leave. And ultimately, like I said, today's just about having fun. There's no pressure, there's no stress. That was Monday. We got through Monday. Today's just about having fun, enjoying riding our bike, and yeah, have a good hit out, rest of the weekend to switch off, and then come back next week and get stuck in it before we leave. So
Let's go and get stuck in, mate.
all right, let's go.
Let's do it.
And we've got the GoPro finally, so we'll see some different angles, different point of views, which will be really exciting. So that'll be a bit of fun today too. So I don't know, let me know what you think about where the camera is positioned, and do you get a bit of a different perspective from what Kane sees sitting on the back of the bike? And yeah, it'll be fun. Today's just gonna be a fun day. That's all it is. So we're wafting again.
See you out on the boards.
That's it. All right. Thanks, mate.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
We're on.
We're on, we're rolling, warmed up, effort one. Kane's got the GoPro on the head, so we're gonna get a few different point of views.
A little bit extra weight on the top of the lid here.
Extra weight on the noggin.
Good training for the neck.
Yeah. All right, let's go have some fun, mate.
Yep, let's go get it.
Content day.
Absolutely. We've got a fair bit going on.
It's rolling.
Righto. Time for the Pilates session, getting onto this bike.
Get my good angle in.
Yeah, good angles.
All right, let's go. So we'll just work our way to the top, same as like the activation,
Yeah,
like 2 and 0 or something like that.
yeah.
I'll probably say squeeze off here a little bit, just a bit of a build.
What, like 60, 80%?
Yeah, 60, 80%. And then literally as we're coming off the banking and straightening up,
Yep.
full tilt.
Just an and up?
All right, like an and go.
Yeah, sweet.
I'll be like, I'll call this time and go, like same as the RACs
Yeah.
we do. And then I'll call
Yeah.
down.
What, about here?
Yeah, about here.
Right, cool. Sick.
Right. We're good. So just same as always, just keep it smooth.
Yep.
Next one.
Yep.
High builder touch. It's time. And go. Down. Done.
All right. See you at set 2.
That's it. All right. I gotta stop saying, I have to stop saying all right.
Ready.
Ready, set, go. Effort 1. cobweb. Blew the cobwebs out. Effort 2. We got a bit faster.
Oh, there were cobwebs. That
There
is
were
for sure.
a lot of cobwebs. Got the jousting stick out.
There we go. We can start it when we're up there.
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Damn boy.
All right.
Damn boy.
Bit wide.
Very wide. Ooh.
You can show the logistics of getting the angles. This is for you, dear viewer.
There you go. All right, effort 2. First one, we were just blowing the cobwebs out, treating it a bit like an acceleration, or our activation effort. This one's just, yeah, again, tidy up, having some fun. Like we are literally having, we're literally having fun today. That's all we're doing. So,
Ready to send it.
all right, we'll get out for this one.
Back here, by the way.
All right. It's time. And go. Down. Done.
Oh, where'd I put my microphone? It's working? Didn't mute it this time?
No, no.
You can actually hear me chirping this effort. You can actually hear me chirping this effort. All right. Oh, no, I said all right as well. Here we are. We're at set number 3. I love these efforts. These are really good fun compared to some of the efforts we've been doing on the tandem the last couple of weeks. This is such a joy. This is such a joy. It's so good. Perspective is a thing because we know we're not going up and doing 2.5 laps. So good. Really good fun at the fence, just punching it out of the seat. Slightly smaller gear as well, so the acceleration is just so much faster. Into the seat and just spin it up. So good. What do you reckon, Luke?
Oh, you're 100% right. And I think, like you said, having fun, that's the most important thing. And don't get me wrong, the training we do is fun and I enjoy it, but the fun is chasing the goal. Whereas today is literally just, we're just having fun. Like it's not a hard session, it's not stressful.
We're here for that sweet, sweet dopamine.
A lot of dopamine, but that's what I mean. Like we can have a session where we can kind of still come in, just keep the body ticking, do a few bits and pieces, but we can have some fun putting the GoPro in different mounting positions, trying to get some ideas for future stuff, but there's no stress around performance today. It's literally just come here, have a few efforts, leave feeling good and activated, then we come back next week and it's back to
full send.
Yeah, full send, race mode, switch it on. And I don't know, I enjoy days like today. Like it's not often that we can actually just relax and have some fun in terms of this. Like, don't get me wrong, there's efforts we do that are fun, but this is just a relaxed.
I mean, we've had so much short turnaround with all of our competitions over the last couple of months that we haven't really had much of this opportunity. So this is a nice, cool change.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, a very good change. So last effort of the day, same as like we've done. Just go out, rip it, have a big old send.
Yep.
We'll come in and wrap it up.
Yep. All right, let's go and do it. Record my own podcast back here. This is a day in the life of a tandem stoker. Mick's in the background here. Mick.
You don't want me in the background.
I want you in the background, mate.
You just want to push.
Yeah, exactly right. Oh, look at that timing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Mick.
I'm very close to this GoPro right now. I can just about kiss it. Hello, viewer. All right, one more effort. I'm gonna give it a big rip. Just kind of use these first couple of laps. Bit of an opportunity to build it up to speed. Take it up next to the fence. And then step on it out of turn 4. Haven't been up at the fence in a couple of months, so it was a little bit friendly the first one. Hit very close. Lock in.
2.
Yep.
Build a bit. time. And go. Down. Done.
Oh, love that acceleration on a slightly smaller gear.
Pretty good. Ooh. Probably felt the best of the day.
Yeah, I think so.
Session done. Deload week complete. Good day today. I mean, like, in all seriousness, like today was just a bit of fun. Like, we still went out and came here and did what we needed to do. It was more, I wouldn't say it was more of a box tick session, but like we said before, I think just coming here and simply just actually having fun riding our bike. It's not often we kind of do that at all. And I think it's something that like Chris Hoy has mentioned as well in his book, is like every time you're on the track, you're hurting yourself, you're putting yourself through immense pain, and then on ergo, you're doing the same thing. It's not often, unless you're doing like a recovery road ride or go to the coffee shop, it's not often we actually just get on the bike and have fun, and especially track, because I find that, like I said before, I love what we do, but for me, the fun is working towards the goal. The fun isn't necessarily the training itself. Like, I enjoy it, but it's because it's hard. I enjoy that hard work. That's the fun for me, is chasing a goal and a dream and working towards something in that, that process of delayed gratification. To me, that's what I find fun. Whereas today was just a fun session. It's like, the MAC 200 session, that's just a fun session. And so I think it's just a good refresh.
I think that like today didn't need to be fueled by adrenaline.
Nah.
And I feel like that for me is the big difference, where when we come out and we're chasing these performance goals and we're really putting ourselves in a lot of hurt, like the time trials that we did on Monday, when you're fueled by so much adrenaline, you almost have this like dead eye vision where you're so focused. Whereas today, like I walked into the track, I was looking around, I was like taking everything in, and like seeing people at the track that I haven't spoken to in a little while, like having a bit more of a conversation with them. And whereas when you're fueled by adrenaline in your main training sessions, you're just so focused and so narrow with your sight and your focus.
Yeah.
It's nice to just kind of step back from that. Still give it 100%. We're still sprinting, right?
Exactly.
It's not anything less than 100%.
No.
But it's just a slightly different mindset and coming in with a slightly different fuel, I think.
Yeah.
Into today's session.
Yeah, and that's why we can have fun with the GoPro today. We can put it in different positions and have a laugh and have a bit of a chat in between. Whereas like literally the last block has been very much every session is come here, switched on, focus, high concentration, high level of, I guess stress is probably the word as well. So then to have a day like today, just to actually just tone it back a bit, have some fun and not be under that environment, because we know that the next few weeks is going to be the complete opposite of that, where it is going to be stress. But again, we've trained for that, we've dealt with that, we can handle that.
And I think not just the training in the last block, but like we've been optimizing everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. We've been optimizing sleep, nutrition, recovery, gym, sports psychology, everything that we're doing, even outside of the training environment, is to optimize for performance. And I'm not saying that we're not doing that this week, but it's nice to have one of those elements that we're not just like 100% performance focused. Today was just about getting here and just turning the legs over, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keeping activated so that we didn't have 2 weeks off the tandem. Like,
no,
we've got
exactly.
this gap in between now. And if we weren't here today, it would have been a week and a half, 2 weeks. So it's basically keep topping it up. Right?
Yeah, topping it up, having some fun. And I mean, it was a good day today. It's been a good week. It's as much of a physical freshen up, it's also a mental one as well. And I think that's important to have that every now and again. And I had a point I was going to mention, but I kind of, it's eluded me, so I can't remember. But I mean, it's been a great day. We'll finish off the rest of the weekend, recover some more, and then we come back out next week, have our last hit out in Perth, and then we're on a plane and off to Rio. So I mean, spirits are high. We're in a good place.
Yep.
We're well prepared.
Yep.
Everything's being done.
The hard work's been done. We're just here to just top it up now and just keep the form, up, keep the body happy, and
less is more.
Like I said at the start, execute on some processes, and we'll be sweet.
That's it. All right, cool.
Yeah.
We'll
see you next week.
See you next week.
Yep. Ripper. Bang.